Hello, everyone. Good day from wherever you're watching from, and I hope we're having a great time. It's my pleasure again to be in program with us this day as we consider another amazing topic under the Bible Character Series. The last month, we talked about Noah, and we learned a lot from Noah. We learned of how Noah befriended God. We learned of how Noah was gifted. He had a craft, and that is why he was able to put together the ark. We learned how he was a family man, how he made sure every member of his family were all, you know, with him, and he was really mindful of them by making sure they were in the ark with him. Right, and then we want to proceed in the Bible character series this day by going into another amazing topic which we can see on our screen: lessons from Daniel. All right, so if you're joining us for this first time, this is Kingdom Mentorship, and we're here carrying a godly mentality. And then if you are new here and this is the first time you're coming across this video or this live broadcast, you can hit the subscribe button. Then the subscribe button, you can actually click on the notification bell also so that you get notified whenever we come live or whenever we upload any wonderful video like this. And then you can also like the video and also share as we're right here on the live stream. Right, I'm welcoming every one of us. I'm welcoming us specially once more into this amazing program, and I know that we will all be blessed in Jesus' name. All right, so let's dive right straight into the topic: lessons from Daniel. Who is Daniel? Who is Daniel? The first thing we want to know is, who is this man that we're trying to learn from? Let's say one or two things about him, then we start drawing out lessons, very wonderful lessons from him. All right. Who is Daniel? Daniel was a wise and faithful man in the Bible. See, Daniel, known for his loyalty to God, he has wisdom and courage. He lived during the time when the people of Israel were taken as captives to Babylon. Even in a foreign land, Daniel stayed faithful to God and refused to follow the sinful way of others. That's one beautiful thing about him. If you also remember, because of his honesty and intelligence, he served, okay, as an important advisor to several kings, such as Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, and Darius. Don't mind that some of my words were not capitalized, including God. I think it's a formatting that made it so, right? Let's continue. Daniel is best known for refusing to eat the king's food and staying healthy by eating vegetables and water. In Daniel chapter 1, you see that. If you check verse 8, the Bible says Daniel decided not to eat the king's food. Okay? And then we also know that Daniel interpreted dreams and visions that no one else could explain. You can imagine somebody dreamt a dream, and then another person is the one telling you your dream and even giving you the interpretation. That was an amazing gift that Daniel had. Being thrown into the lion's den for praying to God. Like I said, don't mind the letter. It was the general formatting that made it small, okay? That is capital letter G, God, all right? And God protected him and kept him safe. All right. So that is a short and a brief story about Daniel. I know you know who Daniel is, especially if you're a Christian and if you have learned it in church. You would have one day somebody would have said something about Daniel. All right. So, but then that is not why we're here. We're not just here to talk about his history. We're here to learn from Daniel. So, what and what can we learn from Daniel? So, we're going to lessons from Daniel. Lessons from Daniel. The first lesson you can see is that Daniel did not join the multitude to do evil. Daniel did not join the multitude to do evil. Daniel did not join the multitude to do evil. Wherever you're watching from, you can just drop your name and where you're watching from just to recognize your presence on the live stream. All right. Daniel did not join the multitude to do evil. Daniel did not join the multitude to do evil. In the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse 8, the Bible recorded that Daniel purposed in his heart not to defile himself with the king's meal. The king's meal is evil to Daniel because, according to their custom, the Jewish custom, that king's meal have been sacrificed to idols. And Daniel has learned that he cannot eat meals sacrificed unto idols. So he decided not to join every other young person around him to eat a meal sacrificed to idols. So the first lesson we need to learn from Daniel is that we should stand out. Daniel was different. He was not like every other person in his generation. Do not always try to do like everyone. The Bible even says in the book of Exodus 23, verse 2, that we should not follow the multitude to do evil. See, in any space or any situation you find yourself in life, whenever you sense what is not right, please do not join. Exempt yourself. Stand out. It is better to be the only sane person than to join others to become mad. If you are in a community where everybody is crazy, can you help us to be the only normal person in the community? If you are in a class where everybody is unserious, can you help us to be the serious one? If you are in a place where everybody is doing bad things, can you be the one that is doing the good thing? If you're a young person and everybody around you is into internet fraud, can you be the only one that will be doing legitimate business? These are lessons. This number one lesson we can learn from Daniel. Daniel did not join the multitude to do evil. All right. Now, let's dive straight into our next point because we have a very long way to go and I want to make sure we get it within the shortest possible time. Okay. If you're just joining us, you're welcome to this YouTube channel. And this is Kingdom Mentorship. And we are in our monthly program. We're trying to explain and expose ourselves to lessons from Bible characters. And we are talking about Daniel right now. All right. So you're welcome. And you can hit the subscribe button and then like, drop a comment, and then so that we can get it more from YouTube. All right, let's go to the next point. Another lesson from Daniel is that Daniel had good friends. You see, the Bible recorded that Daniel had three friends: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I know that if you grew up in a church environment, you would know these three. These three guys were Daniel's friends. And you see, these men were very good people who had the same belief with Daniel. They were all children of God and would never compromise their faith. You see, these men refused to bow to the king's idol, and they were even thrown into the fiery furnace, still they did not mind. They were threatened. They were threatened by being thrown, but they told the king, excuse me, Mr. King, please, we will not still bow. See, who are your friends? That's the question. Who are your friends? You need to learn from Daniel to choose good friends. Please, even if somebody chose you, still choose your friends. Because somebody made you a friend does not mean you should become the person's friend. You go choose your friends because you cannot allow the cord of friendship to put you into problem. Your friends matters. And so I'll ask again, who are your friends? What is their value system like? What do they celebrate? See, one litmus test to know the value system of people is to know what they celebrate. Once you can be sure of what people celebrate, then you will know the kind of person they are. What do your friends celebrate? Are they the type of person that are always celebrating evil or unreasonable things? Who are your friends? What are their value system? Are they also of the same faith and belief with you? I hope you are not the one that has friends that will tell you that, bro, going to church does not mean anything. Just enjoy your life. I hope you are not with those kind of friends. I hope those are not your good friends. I hope those are not the ones you called my good friend. You need to have friends that have same faith and believe with you. Those are the friends that will help you in the time of problem. Those are the friends that will help you up when you are weak. Do you have friends that can pray for you? Do you have a friend right now that you can call and say, bro, sister, please, can you pray for me? I'm down. Do you have friends that would uplift you? Do you have friends that will know that you know that can stand by you? What are their faith? What is their belief? Are they gifted? I hope you're not working with any other people. Are they gifted? Are they good in something? Are they smart like Daniel's friends? According to Daniel chapter 1, verse 20, the Bible recorded that these guys were very smart. They were even 10 times better than every of the astrologers and magicians in Babylon. That's how good, brilliant, gifted they are. Are your friends smart? Are they gifted? You need to answer all these questions personally. You need to probe the kinds of friends you have. Daniel had good friends. Do you have good friends? All right, that'll be it. Let's move straight into the next point. What is the next lesson to learn from Daniel? Daniel had a gift. Daniel had a gift. In the book of Daniel, chapter 2, the Bible recorded that the king had a dream and needed an interpretation. Okay? If you remember, if you're conversant with the story of Daniel, all these things I've been saying will not be new to you. All right. There was a dream, and the king needed an interpretation. All right. So Daniel was gifted in interpretation of dreams and had sentences. You see, from there we can very much affirm that God gave every one of us a gift. No one was born without a gift. That's the lesson. Every one of us has a gift. Let me remind you of a parable. Jesus spoke a parable about a certain man who gave talents to his servants. Remember, he gave one 5 talents, he gave another 2 talents, and he gave the third guy 1 talent. He gave everyone a talent. There was no one that doesn't have a talent. So that already tells you that every one of us have a talent. Everyone collected something. Everyone is gifted. You are gifted. There's something you are very good at. There's something you can do without being paid. There's something that you can do for free and you'll be happy. That is your talent. So, and you need to discover it. You need to discover your talent. Daniel's gift paved ways for him. You see, his gift of interpreting dreams and hard sentences paved ways for him. And your gift will pave way for you too in life and even set you among great men. The Bible says that a man's gift makes room for him and put him among king, and he will not be among mean men. All right. So if you have been getting along since we started, you can drop a comment, say, I'm still here with you, I'm still following through. Let us drop a comment. All right, just so that I can know that we're still following. Right, it's been a nice ride and we've learned three things. Let's continue. Another lesson we can learn from Daniel is that Daniel was teachable. Daniel was teachable. You see, Daniel was among the captives preserved because he was teachable. You see, some set of captives were taken from Judah, from Israel's side to Babylon. And Bible recorded that they picked the young men that are brilliant, that are teachable, smart, good looking. And Daniel was one of them. Because why? He was teachable. According to the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse 4, Daniel 1, verse 4, they were skilled in all wisdom and cunning in knowledge and understanding sciences, right? And had ability to learn the culture and the language of the Chaldeans. Daniel is very teachable. Are you teachable? That's the question. Are you teachable? See, one good quality everyone must possess is being teachable. Being teachable helps you to learn in life because we need to learn. Being teachable will help you to curb pride. You see, it takes a humble person to be teachable. Anybody who is not humble will not be teachable. Are you teachable? Some of us, we don't get it. That do you know that there's so much possibility of being in a class where your lecturer is even younger than you? Are you teachable? I hope when the guy starts teaching you, you not flare. Have you entered companies? You see that some of the managing directors are even younger than the people that they are above. They're younger than their delegates. They're younger than their lower team members. If you were the person that has a manager that is younger, how will you do? Will you rather flare up, scatter everything, or learn? Will you rather turn everything upside down just because you feel proud, or you be teachable? As great people, as visionaries, as people who wants to be great in life, you have to be teachable because many of the things that you need, most of the things that you need in life, you've not known it. And you need somebody to teach you. So, and if you're not teachable, it will be hard to move forward in life. So you need to calm down. You need to put yourself in a student position so that you can always learn new things. We need to learn. See, the day you stop learning is the day you die because you are supposed to keep learning every day. Now, my question is, what have you learned today? What have you learned today? So, you need to be teachable. Daniel was teachable. You need to be teachable. All right, let's go right into the next one. Because of our time, we'll try to see if we can spend just 30 minutes on the live stream or just a little higher than that. All right, so you have been with us ever since. Please, let's react. Let's drop a comment. If you've not subscribed, subscribe, like, so that the YouTube algorithm can pick it and show more people. All right. You would not want to be selfish with that, right? It wouldn't cost you money. I hope you know that. So hit the subscribe button and let us continue. All right. The next lesson from Daniel is that Daniel was wise. Daniel was wise. I mean, very wise. Daniel was very wise. God gave him knowledge, gave him skills in all learning and wisdom. Wisdom is what made Daniel stand out. And that was the gift of God. It was not his making, it was inherent. God gave him. So, wisdom means the ability to make right decisions. Now, I have to narrow the meaning of wisdom to this because when people make good decisions, what will you say? You say, oh, that guy is a wise guy, right? So, it means that you need to make good decisions in life. See, as young people, we need the wisdom of God so that we can make right decisions in life. We are still young, very young, and we will be making a lot of decisions in life. We really need wisdom in life because without wisdom, you'll be making a lot of errors. See, the difference between two men that are 60-year old is the decisions they made. You know, one strange thing about decision is that most of the decisions we make that are very cogent does not have impact immediately. Some have impact in decades, some in few years to come. Decisions are very powerful and it takes wisdom to make decisions. And you know, the Bible even says wisdom is a principal thing. That is, of course, if you are not wise, you will really, really be stranded. Because if you check, there is nobody that is worthy that is not wise. It is possible to be wise and not be wealthy, but it is not possible to be wealthy and not wise because it takes wisdom to make wealth. Did you get that? So the Bible says wisdom is a principal thing, that is, it is important. And so the Bible also says that he who lacks wisdom should ask from God. Do you see that? So we need wisdom in life and we can get it from God. Another way to get wisdom is to fear God because the Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of what? Of wisdom. Wisdom. God gives people ideas. God gives men brain to do unimaginable things. The first time the Wright brothers made the plane, I'm very sure some people will be like, what are these idiots doing here? But now almost everyone is trying to make a plane. Almost everyone is trying to take a flight somewhere. What if these guys did not get the wisdom to make this? Another way to get wisdom is to calm down and meditate. See, most times people get wisdom by observation. Observation. Some of us are too hasty. You don't observe. Calm down. Relax, sit down, sometimes think, sometimes just drop social media and think. You need to meditate sometimes to be wise. This is a very important lesson. Daniel was wise. Are you wise? If you think you need wisdom, you know who to ask. Ask God. All right, let's dive into the next one so that we can move faster. All right. Daniel had a habit of prayers. Daniel had a habit of prayers. What is this I say? All right, if you know the story of Daniel very well, you remember that Daniel never stopped relating with God even after being threatened to be thrown into a lion's den. He didn't stop. The Bible even recorded that he opened his window and faced Jerusalem because that was the way they prayed then as Jewish people. Jerusalem, because that was where the temple of God is. So, of course, it's like facing God, right? So, that was how they prayed then. Daniel he cultivated this habit of prayer. We need to cultivate the habit of prayer. The Bible says that Jesus spake a parable unto the people, unto all kinds of people, his disciples, and then the people hearing him, to the end that men ought always to pray and not faint. That's Luke 18, verse 1. To be prayerless is to faint. To be prayerless is to what? Is to faint. Once you stop praying, you know what you're telling God? You're telling God that you can do life on your own. Once you stop praying, you're trying to tell God that, God, leave me alone. I can do anything that I want to do. I don't think I need you now. Let me just enjoy my life. We were made by God, and we would always need to contact our maker, our manufacturer, God, for the most critical things in life. Great people. The more you build relationship with God, the more wise you become in life. The more you build relationship with God, the more you build relationship with God, the more wise you become in life. You need to cultivate the habit of prayers, the habit of relating constantly with God. Make it your normal lifestyle. Make it a culture. Make it a culture. Always relate with Him because He created you. The Bible says in Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, said, He told Jeremiah, He said, Before I formed thee, I knew thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation before you came out of your mother's womb. So God created us. He is the one that packaged us into our mother's womb. So He knows what we're going to become. He knows how he knows our makeup. He knows what we should be doing. So we talked earlier that if you need wisdom, ask God, because He gave Daniel wisdom. Now we're saying that this prayer is what will help you keep a constant relationship with God, so that it will make you wise. It will make you what? Wise. So we need to cultivate the habit of prayers. All right, let's dive into the next point. I hope we are getting it so far. We've learned so much from Daniel. This is the 6th lesson, and then we're going to the 7th lesson. All right. Daniel had enemies. Somebody will be like, okay, what's it talking about again? It is another beautiful lessons that we have to learn in life. Daniel, Daniel, so flawless human being, as flawless as he was, if he had enemies, then who are you not to have enemies? Enemies are part of life. That is why even David's enemies were his brothers. You can imagine. When your enemies are the members of your family, that already tells you that anybody else can be your enemy. Even Jesus said it at a point. He said, the enemies of a man are the members of his household. That is amazing, isn't it? Quite interesting. But then, enemies are part of life. In the book of Psalm 23, David said, Thou set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You can imagine that. The enemies David was referring to here were his brothers. He said, Thou anointed my head with oil. When Prophet Samuel came to anoint him, his brothers were all present. Remember, Eliab and all of them. And the Bible recorded that David, the small ruddy boy, was being anointed right in front of them, and they all hated him. If you discover, you see that there was a time when David was in the battle. His brother told him that, what are you looking for? You this small brat. Can you go back home? What are you chasing? You trying to come and show your skills, or you just came to see the battles? They don't really like him. Okay? And that is why he was the youngest and was still the one sent into the bush. They don't really like it. He had enemies. Daniel also had enemies. Remember the enemies that planned and told the king and said, King, can you decree? Can you make a decree? Can you imagine when a decree was made because of one person? Their target was Daniel. And they made a decree that they made the king to make a decree that nobody should call on any other god except the idols. because they know Daniel always prayed and it was their target. You get that? So they targeted him. Enemies will always be around. You don't have to offend anyone before they develop hatred towards you. If the world hated Jesus, huh, are you joking? As flawless as Jesus was, he was hated. Even Judas betrayed him. So some people are likely to hate you. So just know that as long as you are in sync with God, the assurance you have is that you cannot be overcome by enemies. Enemies will always come. Enemies are always around. In a place of work, at school, in your neighborhood, you can imagine somebody built a house and then robbers came in. That's enemies. And then a neighbor came to steal something. Those are enemies. You can imagine. So as flimsy as that is, that's already an enemy. So just know that there will be enemies. But then, as long as you are in sync with God, know that you cannot be overcome by enemies. All right, let's try to round up. We have just one more point to go and we'll be done. All right, we're targeting just 30 minutes and we're just a little minutes above 30 minutes. All right, let's go to the last point, which says Daniel ruled in the government. This is another interesting one. Another interesting lesson from Daniel is that he ruled in the government. Many of us usually run away from leadership posts. As I'm talking right now, some of us are in schools where class rep is needed and you're running. You're running away from being just a class rep of a class because you're running away from responsibilities. You can imagine. Some people dread being a class representative. How will you become a counselor or a senator? You cannot do a class rep. How will you become a senator? You are afraid of being just head of your class. How will you rule a local government? How will you rule a community? How will you rule an axis, a region? How will you rule a country? How will you rule a continent? Daniel was one of the topmost government officials in his time. You can be a child of God and still be a politician. You can. Yeah, it's possible. See, as Christians, let us not run away from leadership. Please stop running away from leadership. Great people, stop running away. Learn from Daniel now. Stop running away from leadership. Some of us are going to be great politicians. Please do not run away. If this is your passion and destiny, don't run away from it. Because to become a great politician, you have to be in that path. If you are not in that path, you will never become it. You can imagine somebody who wants to be a politician and is running from any post that he sees in life. You don't even want to be the men's representative in your church. You don't want to be the director. You don't want to be the head of your class because you don't want to move with lecturers. You don't know what you're missing when you keep running away from responsibilities and positions. God wanted us to be like Daniel, who enjoyed a very good time because of his positions. You can imagine how high Daniel was. He was like the third person in the whole realm of Babylon. So Daniel ruled in government. Why are you running? What's pursuing you? Why are you running? See, with the help of God, you will get there. Children of God, let us stop running away from leadership position, stop running away from politics, stop running away. We keep complaining that things are bad. We keep complaining that bad people are getting there. So you claiming good, why are you not going? Why are you not trying to be there? Since you say you don't want bad people to rule you, why have you not started, why are you running away? Why have you not opted in for a political party? Why have you not done something about politics? Or even if you are not going directly into politics, why are you even still running away from a leadership position wherever you are? You need to pick up leadership position. You don't necessarily have to be a politician, right? But then we are leaders. We are great people. Stop running away from rulership. You are made to rule. You are supposed to be a ruler. You're supposed to be in charge. So stop running away from the position that God has placed you. With the help of God, I know that you will get there. All right, so that is our last point. Imagine 8 lessons from Daniel. 8 good lessons from Daniel. And it's been an amazing experience so far. And if you have been following through, you can just write, oh, if you, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, because I'm so blessed. And I want you to also type it that you're blessed, you're blessed, you're blessed. This will be where we stop today. If you have any question, please you can drop it in the comment section, not in the live session, in the comment section, because when you drop in the live session, it disappears. When you drop in the comment section, we can always see it so that we can answer it. And if you have not joined our WhatsApp platform, you can also drop a message. I want to join the WhatsApp platform. We'll send you the link, and then you can easily join the WhatsApp platform from there, because that is our own community where we share things together. All right. And then, just like I said, if you joined us late and you are wondering what's going on here, this is Kingdom Mentorship, and we are young people who has good mentality, and we are in the Bible character series learning from Daniel today, and we've learned 8 amazing lessons from Daniel. All right, so that will be all, and trust me, if you also don't want to drop uh, questions on the YouTube, you can also drop it right in our WhatsApp group. Of course, if you are in the WhatsApp group. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining this evening. Really appreciate us. It's an amazing experience. If you've not liked the video, please like the video, share it to your friends so that they can also learn from this amazing series of Bible character, and then they can be blessed. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate us. Let's have a wonderful time. All right. Bye bye, everyone.